and different ingredients that they're putting into like the baby formulas as well to kind of feminize the masculine sex too.
Yeah, they've been doing that. That ain't nothing new. We know they're doing that.
Right.
Look, they got stuff in the water that's making frogs have multiple genders. The amphibian is more sensitive than the human genetically. So they gonna
or it's just in the comments off top. So man,
you
OG,
you can pin it.
I didn't see it pop up in the comments yet. And I'm gonna get better with this as we go on. Forgive me, y'all. Y'all don't see it in the comments yet.
I'm not doing it.
Most definitely got to get better with this. First time on live on YouTube. Huh?
It's the post. It's a comment failed to post.
Okay, well, don't worry about it. I'll get it up there. I'm
gonna text it to you.
I say, peace. We see you too. Now, okay, we on there. I say. So, man, first thing first. OG, how you feeling? There's a lot been going on in the universe. Yes, sir. Real quick, man. You know we in the year 9. That's an Oya number, right? And you see all these storms and stuff going on. You heard anything about Yellowstone?
Yeah, all the animals are leaving, but you know the internet's fact checkers say that it's not true.
You
know how that go.
Yeah. No, preparation prevents poor performance. OG, also I wanted to ask you, because there was a lot of stuff they were asking us last time about minerals and stones and stuff, and we never got to it. So I want to get straight into it now. I don't know if we ever had that conversation before with you. I know I've had a conversation with Dr. Phil when he was talking about the firmament, right? Being in the dome.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asked in the comments, and they asked a real good question. They said, how do we get meteorites that come down if we're in a dome? If space is not real, where are the meteorites coming from?
I'm not from the philosophy of the dome.
Gotcha.
It's not a dome. It's a radiation belt. You can look it up. It's called the Van Allen belt. So when anything that comes through the Van Allen belt is going to catch fire coming through there because the temperature is so high. But the fire is missing the luminous element. But it's hot enough that anything come through that radiation field to the earth is going to catch fire. Now they got something in the layers of atmosphere called atmosphere. The only way to get through without burning, trying to is you got to time the atmospheric windows.
Your phone breaking up real bad, OG.
What you want me to go out and come back in?
No. I'm just saying maybe your phone needs to stay. I'm not sure, but it's kind of breaking up a little bit. Because we really couldn't hear what I didn't hear what you said.
Okay, so I'm gonna say it again. There's something in the layers of atmosphere have something called atmospheric windows. If you don't go through each layer where the window opening is, the result is, remember the Challenger that exploded going into space?
Yeah.
That didn't catch the window. So when they tried to pierce through the radiation belt, it blew up. They told us it was some kind of fuel leak, but they mistimed the launch. That's why they don't go straight up. Right? They thought they could blow it up, Operation Fishbowl. You can't blow up a wave of radiation. It's just not going to happen. Anything you send up there, the radiation is going to increase the heat. If you send a bomb up there, it's just going to blow up right there in the radiation belt. It's called the Van Allen belt. The Van Allen belt is Pleiadian light lock and is reinforced by our Arcturian conjure support. Right? That's why it's a verse in the Bible said who can loose the bands of Pleiades, right? The reason why it's asking that question is because the Pleiadians put us in the light lock to settle the conflict in the confines of Earth without interfering with other systems outside of the Earth realm, right? But there's also the secondary factor of holographic projection that's also simultaneously being projected at the same time that we are in this field. Right? So it's like putting an energetic bubble. The shape of it, when it's not, the general shape is a torsion field because it's drawing on the natural frequency of the earth and natural frequency of the sun. And that's why the sun and the Schumann resonance is melting away the illusion slowly but surely. This is what we're seeing with the spikes in Schumann resonance. They are upgrading DNA of all species on the planet. But at the same time they're doing that, they are creating a different vibrational frequency where the old paradigm, the old hologram will not be able to sustain itself because it'll be on a much lower frequency.
So
from third dimension to dimension, the frequency change.
Yeah, no, that actually just really happened. I can't really explain it. I saw it on one brother page, and it was a sister. She was really speaking about it. The frequency changed within the last couple of days. It went blank. Instead of going peaking up or going down, it went blank. And then they were describing it, and I was telling you that my body was hurting. I didn't know what was going on. I'm thinking it was me thinking something was going on with me, but then I started hearing a lot of people going through the same thing. So the energy changes. And then you talk about DNA upgrades or downloads or whatnot. You know a lot about blood types?
No, a little bit. That ain't really my field, but I know a little bit.
I got you. The little stuff that I've been like what they're saying about activating DNA and everything else. I was doing the research on the Rh negatives. And some of the stuff that they're putting out there really don't make sense, but you know they kind of put a lot of false information out there too. But I don't know, man. A lot of the stuff that's going on right now is saying it's to activate the Rh negatives.
So that's the original. The old negative is the original blood type.
So why do they say
universal? So all the other blood types can get a transfusion from O negative. All of the positive, Rh positive, can get blood donations from O positive, but they can't give it to the negative blood types. Right? It's only universal to positive. Whereas the O negative is universal to positive and negative. That's how you know it's the original blood type. Right? And then we know that the other ones derive from genetic isolation and diet. Right? So when we're looking at the story of Hanuman, right? Hanuman is the Hindu monkey god. Right? But that's in India. In China, he's called Sun Wukong, the monkey king. But Hanuman was trying to figure out a way to give everybody ascension rights. What they call in the rhesus factor is the genetic line of the Hanuman.
Yeah. I didn't think you were gonna connect that just like that, but you went straight forward. No, man. Okay, because when you say original, And you're saying some have the monkey DNA, but then they say the O, and they're saying they can't explain this O factor in. And that goes back to the meteorites and everything else, because they're saying the meteorites are bringing down DNA. So I'm trying to figure that out. And I've been collecting a lot of different meteorites myself, but they're also magnetic. Some of these are magnetic stones, like the iron tektites, magnetic stones. And there's a lot of these different stones that we've been working with for years that they don't want to talk about, but they're actually out there space mining now for these magnetic stones. So just saying it, like in general, how stones activate your DNA, where you're talking about the zodiac sign. The zodiac sign is also a part, like the map to your DNA. So that's what I'm trying to connect it. Huh?
The zodiac sign tell you. The zodiac sign tell you what sector of the stardust accumulated at the time you was developing. So if you're born under Taurus, when the energy was coming in from the Taurus constellation, it landed on your genetic blueprint, right? So you have the influence of the frequency that came from the Taurus constellation in higher abundance than somebody that's born in, say, Pisces, right? The Pisces constellation influences the Pisces the same way, but it don't have the same effect on the Taurus. But it got all of the 12 constellations have an effect on all of the people, no matter what your zodiac sign, right? And the goal is to try to embody the highest quality, because as you go through parts of your life, you also going through the zodiac wheel. Right? So you might be so dominant. You also will have, you also have the recessive of the other 11 zodiac signs, and you have to master the negative qualities that's coming in from that frequency in order to master the zodiac wheel. This is how you get to your fool's journey, to your hero's journey, or Osirian resurrection, right? The goal is for the divine masculine to vibrate masculine energy at the same frequency, different polarity of the divine feminine. So the original zodiac wheel, it had Ta'art or Tawaret as the centerpiece. She was sitting on the throne of heaven, the first god, the oldest relic of a deity known to man is Tawaret or Ta'art, right? The hippopotamus goddess. They use the symbol of the hippopotamus because it tells you the protective nature of the mother, right? But it used the mammary glands of the woman, right? And she used the back of the crocodile. The crocodile spine indicates the upright because it don't bend. Like you ain't never seen a crocodile stand on two legs, bend over and pick nothing up. His back is straight, no matter whether he's crawling on his belly or he's standing on two legs, his back is always straight. That's the symbolism attached to Ta'art having the crocodile back going to the tail. And then the tail becomes the prop, right? And then she had the lower extremities of a cow, right? So now that's in Kemet, you going from the hippopotamus goddess to Sobek priest to Hathor with the legs, but sometimes she's depicted as having owl's feet, right? So now it's telling you she's aerial, she can fly, she can swim, she can traverse the land and walk. She becomes in the same vein. The goal in masonry is to teach the man to be upright, right? To taking from horizontal to perpendicular, from laying down to standing up. don't stop at 32 degrees because you're still bending over. And if you're bending over, it's a good chance you're going to be kissing some ass. Right? So you got to stand up straight. So if you stand up straight, standing on 0, your head touch 180. Your feet is on 0. Your head is standing up straight. Your head is on 180. That's a half a circle. Right? So if the physical and the spiritual is in alignment, you got 2 halves of the circle, a 360. Right? And if you can see on the earth what you see in the stars, now you have the 7 above, so below. But the reflection of the universe is inside you, so it's as within, so without. As without, so within. So we talking about learning how to return to your state of divinity, right? That go back to the Hanuman story. Because all of the guys couldn't stay in Hanuman. But he always completed every task they gave him. Right? So when he went to China and became the general, he became the Monkey King, Sun Wukong, the only undefeated general. And he was fighting who? The gods. And they was using what? Conjure magic, hypnosis, poison, right? But he had a superpower. He had a staff that was so heavy when he wielded it, it shakes the foundation of the earth. Right? But it can also be shrunk down to the size of a pencil for him to put it behind his ear. That means he's a student, right? Pencil behind the ear. He's a student and he's a warrior. Right? Because he's lashing with the staff. Right? When you go to Psalms 23, it say thy rod and thy staff shall comfort thee.
I see.
Ain't a rod and the staff the same thing? So why do they make the distinction in the two? Metaphor. It's a metaphor. The metaphor is I ride chief and staff.
Damn.
Send me
Chief,
information.
Chief, my bad. Run that. As soon as you started giving that code away, you started glitching. Can you say that again?
Yeah. So the rod, me, Chief Pontiac, and his staff, the collection of chiefs that told me it's your turn to work on the problem. Right? So that's my staff. They all gave me a piece to the puzzle. And the more chiefs I can recognize, the more pieces to the puzzle I can collect. The more pieces to the puzzle I collect by studying the different tribes that they call them gangs, right? They call them mafia, but they families and tribes. That's all the tribe is an extended family, right? Under the leadership of the most loved and most respected in the family, your Don Corleone, the Godfather. Right? The Godfather, godlike ability to organize and protect his family without having to leave the comforts of his own home. Right? So when you go back and watch the movie The Godfather, they telling you a story about running a family. Everybody think it's a crime story. The criminal activity was just a means to finance the tending to the family. But what did Don Corleone do to Mike? He sent him to military school, put him in the army, right? Sonny was the heir apparent, but he was too hot-headed. Right? Fredo, who should have been the heir apparent, was too retarded. He thought he was smarter than he thought he was smarter than he was. And he thought he understood the game better than both Sonny and Michael. And in the end, he turned out to betray the family. It's telling you a family struggle to keep the family together. But they emphasize it as a crime story to give us in the hood who's surrounded with criminal behavior the understanding that no matter what you into in the streets, you protect and take care of home first. A lot of these young guys, even in my era, we didn't think about what effect our activity in the streets could have on the home where our fathers, mothers, and sisters and brothers live. We was just out there just getting it in, putting in work, what they call it. Mm-hmm. Right? We was squabbing on the block. We was knuckling up. We was running them fades. Right? But some people think that they man and they can't take a whooping. If you can't take a whooping, you shouldn't be out there participating in the activity that might get you whooped. Because you're going to suffer the consequences of the rest of the ones in the hood. They coming from where you coming from. Right? So the rule was, before this gunplay came in, if I run a fade and I lose, I got two options. Let it go. My first option. Take my L and go on about my business. Take it as a lesson so it don't be a loss. Right? It's how you perceive your L. My second option is will and determination, go back, get better, come back and try again. That's the hard way. The gunplay is the easy way. That's the cheater's way. Right? This is why when you study the Dogon mythology, you tell the Nomo told the Dogon, do not use the projectile weapons. Guns wasn't even made yet, and they was warning them about them. Right? So they knew they was coming because they knew who we was at war with. So the Dogon traced back to the reptilian line of the Sirius constellation, and now you understand we are reptile mammalian hybrids. If we wasn't, we wouldn't have a reptilian brain with two mammal brains on top of it that indicated two different eras of development.